Welcome to today's episode where we explore the fascinating history of a hidden gem in the heart of McConnelsville, Ohio, the Twin City Opera House. For over a century, this historic theater has stood as a symbol of the town's vibrant cultural past, hosting everything from vaudeville performances to live theater, and even serving as a community gathering spot. But what makes the Twin City Opera House truly special isn't just its legacy, it's the stories, the ghosts, and the ongoing mystery that surrounds its walls. Join us as we take a look at the history behind this beautiful building, and after that, we'll try to communicate those whose spirits remain.
I'm Sammi.
And I'm Nicole.
And we are Spooky Sleuths.
Hey guys,
Hello.
we got another spooky haunted place in Ohio. We're really hitting Ohio hard this year.
Yeah, we are. We kind of ignored it last year with the exception of the Bel Air house and the Ross house, but we're getting more into it. So, of course, we ran out of time at the theater to be able to record this part there.
Because that was the plan, because we like doing that for you guys, record on location, but
It was so active.
we did not have the time.
Yeah, so we'll go over the history part here, show you the tour, and then jump into the actual investigation. The theater was opened in 1892 in McConnelsville, Ohio. This area of Ohio was bustling in the mid-1800s with a population of 30,000. For reference, the population is half that today. The railroad system and riverboats made it possible for freight, commodities, and people to come to town on the Muskingum River. Even showboats would come down the river. There were dozens of successful businesses in McConnelsville, including mills, factories, hotels, restaurants, and retailers. These businesses, of course, provided jobs for locals and made an urban lifestyle possible.
It does not appear that way now. I
No.
mean, there's still stuff in
It's your
McConnell-
typical small town, though.
Yeah.
In the 1880s, the town had a need for a place to house the village government. This started the process of building a town hall. This decision was very political regarding the makeup of the building committee. The town's Democratic majority demanded the committee consist of Democratic business leaders, while the mayor
Naturally.
and the Republican minority didn't even want the building to be built. For a year, the committee was at a stalemate until October of 1889, when the Democratic president took advantage of the mayor's absence and called for a vote.
Oh, that's dirty. That's dirty
So,
politics.
Right from the beginning, we got drama with this place. Their next step was to find the right location. They decided to place the town hall and opera house in the county seat, McConnelsville, in an area that the newspapers referred to as the burned district. Now, the local lore is that the old Brewster Hotel once stood at this location and burned down, but there's no evidence of this in newspapers, photographs, anywhere.
You think there would be.
Right.
It's kind of weird.
There's really no concrete evidence of what was in this location before the town hall and opera house opened anyway. The committee purchased the land for $4,000 and began building, although the land was supposedly only worth half that amount. The building cost $16,000 to build and was 3 stories high.
That's just wild, because now, can you imagine how much that kind of building?
Oh my
'cause
God,
how
it'd be
beautiful.
millions.
I mean, it has your typical like Gothic style theater. Like, it's gorgeous. I couldn't. Yeah, no.
16,000.
McConnelsville couldn't afford that
No.
now.
There's a ground floor auditorium, which was rare in the 1800s and is actually one of the last remaining theaters built this way.
No.
The Opera House was opened on May 28th, 1892, after 3 years of construction. This was a huge affair, with the Arion Opera Company performing and all 800 seats filled. Fun fact, the Opera House was the first building in the county that was lit using electric light.
Oh, so no candles or anything. It was the first electric. That's awesome.
Many people traveled to McConnelsville just to see the building because of this, with the newspapers dubbing it the light of the day. But of course, something went wrong at the generating plant, and the electricity was gone. This caused many people to leave, putting a damper on the big day. This also meant that they had to install gas and oil fixtures in the event this happened again with the unreliable electricity. The Opera House has had many performers and celebrities in the last century. Some of these include Reverend Billy Sunday, William Jennings Bryan, and Senator Albert Beveridge. There was also high school graduations, silent movies, and traveling shows here.
It was a hopping place. Although on opening day, you're sitting there boasting about this is the first all electric building, and then it all goes out. That'd be so
Yeah,
embarrassing.
It would be.
Like, oh, well, everyone get out your candles.
There is something strange about the theater, and that is that it has tunnels. There are tunnels running underneath the Opera House that are said to have been part of the Underground Railroad. Some say that escaped slaves fleeing the South passed through here. When the Opera House was built, these tunnels were used for performers to come and go from their rooms at the neighboring hotel. In the 1930s, the tunnel was filled, and only the entrance can be found today.
Is this where they think the portal's located?
Yes.
Okay.
There's also
I was trying to figure out where in the world would that be.
There's also a secret hidden staircase that leads from the second floor mezzanine to the village offices on the first floor, which we found. It's not so hidden anymore.
Yeah.
There was no mention of the staircase in any building plans, and it was unknown to the people in the village. Now let's talk about some of the hauntings. There are several spirits that call the Twin City Opera House home.
Several.
But let's just talk about a few of them. Robert Lowery is the first who worked at the Opera House in 1892 when it opened as a stagehand. Robert was married, but he fell in love with a regular performer named Victoria. Scandalous. The two had an illegitimate child named Elizabeth, so Robert continued working at the Opera House so he could be with his daughter when Victoria came to perform.
I bet his wife was so mad.
I don't know if she ever knew. Because Victoria, which I don't know if I mentioned it later, but she's from West Virginia. She had to travel up there to play. So maybe she didn't know.
Maybe.
Unfortunately, Elizabeth died at age 10 from an illness, and this absolutely devastated Robert. He became an alcoholic and died a few years later, but his spirit remains at the theater. Robert has come through on EVPs, EMFs, and mag lights. Robert has even told investigators that there are 14 spirits in the building. Robert is a fan of women with red hair and big busts. And wine. We'll visit the catwalk and try to communicate with him because that's where he hangs out. Victoria and Elizabeth are also residents here. Victoria and Elizabeth also like to communicate through EVPs and EMF readers. Elizabeth can often be found in the catwalk with her father, but she does like to roam around and play with toys and flashlights, and she likes to hang out in the basement. Now let's talk about Elizabeth's friend Sarah. Sarah was born the same time Elizabeth was, and they would play together while their parents were busy. So Sarah wasn't allowed at the Opera House because that was not a place for young ladies.
Oh.
But the pair were friends nonetheless. After Elizabeth's death, Sarah became depressed and didn't let go of this loss until her death at age 92. She held on to this for like 80 years.
That's a long time to hold grief. I mean, grief ebbs and flows, but that's a long time to.
So given that, it's not a surprise that she came back in child form to be with Elizabeth.
Yes.
The pair play with toys on the catwalk, throw pebbles in the basement.
Can confirm.
And even giggle while peeking around corners at you. They're shy, but once they warm up to you, they're very friendly and even physically show themselves to investigators. Not me, but
your dad.
Yeah. Okay, one last one, and then we'll get to our investigation. In 2020, the Opera House was undergoing renovations when suddenly a white rocking chair appeared. The staff have no clue where it came from, but through an hour and 36-minute seance, which is a long time for one seance.
That would be so energy depleting.
But imagine how much energy it would have taken to get that much out of a spirit. That's crazy. Investigators discovered that the chair belonged to a woman named Gloria, who was a resident of McConnelsville, and she actually worked at the courthouse. Through communication sessions, as Gloria warmed up to investigators and revealed that she is Sarah's mother, she revealed that she is Sarah's mother. She's there to protect the girls and to keep an eye on things at the Opera House. She doesn't like when people leave trash around the theater, and will tell you about it. Gloria mainly stays in the sub-basement, but she does wander around from time to time. And you must ask permission to sit in her chair, though.
Can
so
confirm.
please do that. There are several more spirits in the Opera House. Their stories are detailed on their website, which we'll link in the description. There's a ton of information on their website, so please check it out. That's where all of the information for this part of the episode came from. Now, let's go see if we can chat with some of these spirits. Spoiler alert, we can.
Before we get into it, I think it's borderline hilarious that the ones that you touched on were the ones that we made contact
Yeah,
with.
because I had this written before we went there because we were going to do it on site. And yeah,
Those are the ones we were able to, like, we weren't able to make contact with Victoria, but we were, like, the other ones, I mean, those are the main ones we had contact with.
because there's another one that you'll see in our walkthrough that they talk about, Everett, who was, what do they call it? An usher. He was an usher, and he's active in the balcony, but we didn't experience anything with him unless it was him walking around.
Yeah.
So
We'll get into it and we'll show you guys all of our stuff.
I will tell you here in the auditorium. What's your guys' names? I'm Amy.
Melissa.
Yeah, Amy. Yep. We're from the Paranormal. Sam's the main person here, but he has us as hosting today.
Okay.
But here in the auditorium, if you put lights on the stage, especially if you have those paranormal string lights that
The tripwires.
and you play some of the music from the plays that used to be here, you will get a lot of activity. It's almost like they were performing on the stage for you. I've even gotten pictures of full-on, like, ghosts. Oh, I was like, somebody...
Oh, I didn't know Dave went to the bathroom.
You'll get a lot of Victoria here as well.
Okay.
She used to be performing on stage here. She doesn't like being filmed. Like if you put your camera on that stage, more than likely 90% of the time you're going to come back and it's going to be knocked over.
Oh, okay.
You can put it out here. You can put it out here and towards the stage, but she does not like it on the stage.
Okay.
A lot of times we put motion sensors, or like the cat balls,
Yeah.
like that. And when you're in the catwalk, you're looking down, you're actually seeing it move around the floor and rotate.
That's
and
cool.
Spin, and it's pretty nifty. There's also a piano behind those black curtains over there. That piano is completely covered with the dust cover and everything. It'll go off. Doo-doo. You'll hear the piano keys. It's pretty awesome. Up here in the balcony above us, which you can locate between these two stairs, is Everett. He is the usher. We've gotten a lot of photo evidence of him. Actually, I think that's who I've been hearing most of these. It's been a lot of walking and noise.
Okay. That makes sense.
But, Everett, he was the usher, and most of the time we capture him in picture form, sitting in the chairs on this side.
Okay. Awesome.
Usually it's like 3 or 4 rows up on that glass, like group of chairs over there.
Okay.
Nothing here in the Opera House will hurt you, just to give you a heads up. There's not an evil thing unless a traveler comes through the portal. There are 2 portals here in the Opera House.
Okay.
One's in the basement, one's in the catwalk.
Little step down right there. Yep.
Careful for this area. It is marked off in a darker blue, but it is a ledge.
Oh.
Okay?
Careful, Nicole, you'll fall.
Also, this becomes a ledge, as you can see. There's so many places we could trip here. That's why I was like, I'm going to show you where things are, okay, guys? All right. First light switch. Okay? Turns on this main area here. Makes it a lot easier to come through.
Yeah.
This is the basement door.
Okay.
Okay? I'm going to take you up to the catwalk first, and then we'll go down to the basement.
Okay.
When going up to the catwalk, do not use those stairs. As you can see, it just leads to a ladder that leads up into the catwalk area. It is not stable. Please try not to climb up it.
Okay.
I will forewarn you right now, these stairs, they are very narrow and they are very steep.
Okay.
Okay, they are carpeted for the most part. It is easier to get up than it is to get down.
Oh, okay.
Also, these doors on both sides will lead back to the auditorium.
Okay. Great.
as I said, very narrow, very steep.
Oh, yeah.
Sweet shag carpet though. Right? Alright, so this door here, we ask you not to open it. It is just a bathroom and it's not usable, but it has an unholy fucking smell in there.
Okay.
Please
Great.
don't open that door. There's nothing in there. I'm pretty sure the bathroom has been used like since the 60s.
Oh, wow.
Like it's a very, there's an old like antique razor in there.
This is like straight up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I was like, it is very narrow, it is very steep. It is a lot harder to get back down than it is to get up. Okay. Every once in a while you will encounter a bat. I haven't seen any yet today or
thank
heard
God.
any of them, just to give you a heads up. But they are not going to try and attack you, okay? This is the way to get over here. I promise you it is completely stable. You're not going to fall through. I've been in this place for 20 plus years.
Okay, great. Low-key afraid of heights.
Understandable. All right. We have marked the portal here in the catwalk. It is right there.
Okay.
People like to ride all over here with the chalks and stuff like that. But that is the portal. If you take your EMF to that thing, it goes nuts. There is no wires in these walls.
Wow. Yeah, they're
None
brick.
whatsoever. No wire behind the brick. This is Elizabeth's tea set. Ooh. I got busy. Let me sit down. This is Elizabeth's tea set. She loves to play up here. That's Robert's. That's Red. Okay, so
That's her dad.
Robert is Elizabeth's dad. Victoria is her mom. Robert was a stagehand. Victoria was an actress. They had an affair, which concluded in Elizabeth. This is all of her stuff. We bring her toys over the years. She absolutely loves it. But if you come up here and ask to play with the tea set with her, a lot of time you're going to get a lot of EMF up here. Okay. Your EMF is your best friend up here. It's the best way they know how to communicate. Okay. Also your flashlights, the twisty flashlights. Yep. They're very good for those up here. Okay. A lot of times you're not going to get like EVP. Sometimes, as I said, you hear the piano. Mm-hmm. Randomly today, this is the first time in years that I've heard an actual physical voice. Okay. Like that came, like I thought it was my sister outside the door of the bathroom, and she was in the concession stand, and she thought it was me in the bathroom, and I was like, no, I didn't make a noise. I thought that was you. And she was like, no, it's a female voice. I was like, yeah, it was. I don't know whose, but it was. Like, I am going to forewarn you. Let's see, is it this one? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay, that scared the ever-living crap out of me the first time I did that, because I picked it up and it goes, I'm tired, Mommy. Take me home. And I was like, no. Oh, hell no. Like, it also has a delay timer on it, like most toddler toys do, to try and get them to come back to play. So in a couple minutes of not playing with it, it'll make another noise. Okay. I just don't want you to be like freaked out that the doll is haunted or something. It's not. There's a battery thing in there. Okay. The little things I've learned over the years. This is Robert's wine. He very much is into redheads and big-chested women.
We do not have any redheads.
He's very much a flirt and jokes around and loves to play. But EMF is, as I said, the best way to get a hold of him. The little red blinking light or whatever. Yes, no questions. He's really good for those. Okay. As well as the girls. Victoria, I don't get her very often. She's more of a sideline spirit, if that makes sense. She's here. Okay. Yep. We get things off and on. Like it's probably been 3 or 4 years, as I said, since I've heard a voice in here. Prior to that, it was almost a 10-minute long on the ghost box, yelling, screaming fight between her and another spirit. Wow. It was in the concession area. We had it like, we were just sitting there listening to the whole thing going off. You'll know if Victoria comes through for you. Okay. She has a very distinct accent.
I listened to the EVP you have online. Yeah, it was very distinct.
It's a very distinct accent. Like, you will know if she comes through. It's like I don't know how to explain it. It's like almost a mountainy Austrian type accent. It's very, very unique. But as I said, up here, you're going to get, if Elizabeth and Sarah are playing, you're going to get that stuff up here. Honestly, I'm pretty sure that they were up here a moment ago because I was getting real lightheaded and dizzy out of just nowhere.
I'm pretty sure I just felt something move my hair.
Yeah, I was like, there is 100% someone up here with us right now. I don't have my stuff up here.
They like to play with
but
your hair.
Stepping from over there to over here.
You felt the difference, the dizziness
I got
almost?
a ringing in my ear, and I just felt real lightheaded.
Yep, the lightheaded and dizzy is what I got, and that's all. I was like, oh, hold on.
Yeah.
Let me sit down for a second. Yeah, that's a good indicator that you're pretty close to one of them right now. That's a sensation I get when, like, right before, like I'm getting touched or before something happens, or that's the type of sensation you get here, is that lightheaded, dizzy, ringing sensation for a moment, especially if something big is going to happen.
Okay.
I felt it all the way here. I was like, this place is active tonight. I feel it in my bones. It's
I hope so.
And
We need a good one.
In here, we were hearing footsteps all over the place. As I said, we heard an actual female voice, and we thought it was each other.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, oh yeah, it's gonna be a good night. Like,
Yes.
all right. As I said, be careful. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's no anything that's gonna stop you from falling down that ladder if you get too close. Also, there's as I said, there's no guards where your feet are. Please be careful where you're standing. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Just look at it.
Oh, they got it in the dollhouse. I gave it. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, it's over here. I'm gonna head you back down.
I think she'll like the Boo Buddy and the ghost.
Yeah. Missy, did you bring your EMF reader with you up here?
No.
Okay. This right here is the portal. As I said, if you bring it up to this thing, your EMF reader is going to go nuts. There's no wires there. There's nothing in there to make it go nuts, but it goes nuts. And if you follow me, I'm going to take you back downstairs. Please, one at a time on the stairs. Just be very careful on your way down. Because there's only one way up and one way down. The only room that we cannot get to is the ballroom, and that is because the city has decided to use the ballroom as their records room now.
Oh.
And so it is now locked up because it's got all the city's records and stuff. We can't get in there. Also, I need you guys to be aware that on these railings, especially when you come around the corner, there are some metal brackets that kind of stick out. So if you're gripping this thing for dear life and you run your fingers over that, it hurts.
Okay.
Because it's got a little bit of an edge. You see it? Mm-hmm. It's on both sides. I just try to show people, like, try not to get me running. I'm going to show you where the ouchies are. Been there, done that.
Yeah, the least amount of hurt we can get, that's cool.
Yeah, so that's why I forewarn you, I show you. There is no light switch up in the catwalk area, obviously, so I didn't show you one there.
Okay.
So Everett used to live here at the Opera House. He lived on the stage behind scenes. That was his bathroom.
Oh.
Okay. It looks like it's usable, but I have not been told that we can use that bathroom.
Okay, so just
those two out there. Okay. So I was like, I don't know what goes on with that one.
Okay.
So
That's not live, is it? This isn't live, is it?
Huh?
This isn't live, is it?
Live?
Yeah. Live juice.
Oh, I don't.
Yeah, because that's a fuse box.
Yeah.
So if you touch it, it's live. I would say not. I would say not too, because you probably wouldn't have metal sitting right there. But
Yeah,
these two trip a lot, so I'm just watching for shit that they're going to get lucky.
Yeah, I think this is their updated one right here. This is the outdated one.
I mean, it should be.
So cool
but
looking.
that's nice. It's cool. And
It's a nice display
Right.
piece.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's why they.
well, this is
wrap
nice too to
closet.
show you how they used to throw the lights and do all that.
All right, this door leads outside. Just give you a
Okay.
heads up. This light switch, it's not going to do anything for anybody. It's just the outside door light.
Okay.
Okay. So the only light switch you're going to need to know for there is this one down here in this hallway area.
I do vape. Would you prefer we go out this door or the front door?
Front door, but honestly, I don't really care.
Okay.
The next time somebody's going to be here is tomorrow afternoon.
Okay. As long as she's not going to set off like a sprinkler.
No, you're fine. Light switch, obviously, and please watch your head on the way down. This is pretty low, and I mean, I'm short, so. CJ would smash his head.
Yep. Well, if he wasn't 7 feet tall.
These doors here lead to the pit. Okay, where, like, your orchestra stuff like.
Okay.
I don't really get much in this area except for I always forget the name of it. Not not aware spirits, the ones that are stuck in a loop. Like, yeah, you're going to get that energy here. I was like, it starts with an R. I can't remember. That's the type of energy you get here. It's very like, I'm getting busy for the show. I'm getting ready. A lot of movement type feelings.
Yeah.
If you put the cat balls in the doorways, in the door frames, they'll definitely go off for you.
Okay.
But you're not going to get any answers to questions.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally just energy that you're getting through here.
That makes sense, yeah.
I'm not getting any type of actual communication in this area. Like
Okay.
that.
We don't know like what spirit would be, but last time we did investigate, we did get like an eerie feeling of a man standing back there the whole time watching us.
Right, but you still didn't get any actual communication from anything, is what it is. All right, please be careful on your way down, okay?
Okay.
Light switch,
Oh, light switch.
okay? Look at the stairs, this is why I go to
Yeah.
tell you about the light switches. The doors do swing back on you, okay?
Okay.
These doors are done with weights. You hear that noise, you know it's a basement door. This one always has like a weird natural gas smell to it. 'Cause
Yeah.
of all the heaters and stuff. Next door, this is the actual basement, okay?
This place
We're gonna get lost
I
in
thought
here.
you, I am so light switch.
Great.
Okay.
Oh, vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can tell you right now, most of the movement that I see when I'm down here is in that room.
Okay.
If I go into that room, there's no way of getting up to this room and this room belong to the buildings next to us.
Okay.
But there's no way of getting up, so they allow us to go into them as long, or at least into that one. That's the police office room.
So
basement.
don't break in
So,
there.
Yeah, we don't go into that one, but every once in a while you might hear like a police scanner.
Okay.
So don't like be like, what the fuck was that? Like, there's a police scanner in there. I had to deal with that once. And I was like, I don't know what I'm hearing.
Sure reminds me of Trans-Allegheny, doesn't it? Remember when we
Yeah.
were underneath the prison?
Mansfield.
So is there a
was
story
Mansfield.
with the stuffed little elephant over here?
Huh?
Is there a story with the stuffed elephant? Or is
No, this is also an area where Elizabeth and Sarah like to play. So
Okay.
there's stuff down there. The chair is glorious. She's kind of like a nanny to the girls. All I ask is if you go to sit in the rocking chair, please be courteous and ask Gloria first. If you don't, she tends to get upset.
Okay.
She's very much just keep it proper, keep it clean, don't destroy things, and I'll be cool with you.
Okay.
Like,
Cool. I think we can abide by that.
Right? This is what we used to have a spirit here called Charlie, and he was not a great spirit. But it has been, how long since Eric passed? Been like 6-7 years?
Did I read 2021?
Something like.
I think because I
Yeah,
read about him
so
too. Yeah.
We think that Charlie was a manifestation of Eric's traumas. Eric passed away, Charlie was gone. Eric, he was not only a police officer, but he was also in a lot of the wars in the armies and things like that. So he had a lot of traumas that came along with him. And we think that Charlie was a manifestation of his emotional traumas. But when Eric passed away, we haven't seen Charlie since. There hasn't been a Charlie since.
Right, no Charlie, nothing evil. I do want to add though, last time I was here, I don't think you were with us during this investigation, but they did find remains of somebody that was buried down here in there.
But it wasn't like the last investigation you were on, that's just what you heard.
No, I was here.
You were here when they dug up bones?
No, a medium was in here and talked about it, and Sam confirmed that's what they found.
Yeah, but that wasn't the same night. Like, they're not digging up bones.
No,
the same night you were here.
I'm just talking about like,
Okay, well, that's what you made it sound like you were here and they dug up a body in the basement.
No.
Like.
Cool story though.
I'm just saying that, there was.
The sheriff that was shot in the area, that would have been right outside of these doors.
Okay.
He died in the alleyway outside of these doors. And this patient got out of the hospital, shot him in the back of the head.
Okay.
He died out there. This is the other tunnel. Underneath the Opera House, actually on all of the corners of this place, they're all connected with tunnels. The Opera House was connected to the hotel through this tunnel system here. It has now been blocked off. But this is the other portal as well. This
Okay.
is a lot of travelers come through here. So what you're feeling right now in this area, the vibe that you're feeling, the presence you're feeling, this is your baseline. All right. When you get that weird, something feels different, it's off. You can ask the girls, did a traveler come through? And normally they'll tell you yes or no. If there's someone else here, they'll let you know.
Okay.
But a lot of time you're fine on the baseline, and all of a sudden you're like, it's that weird sensation. Something feels off from what it has been feeling. And it's because somebody, I like to call them travelers, it's a spirit that pops in that's not necessarily of this place.
Yeah.
But they pop in, they pop out. But yeah, that's the other one. We've put flashlights here and had them physically tossed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was fun. We did the it was like a nationwide spirit event that we did a couple years back, and we had our flashlights sitting here trying to get information, and it was going off and on, and my dad kept asking, okay, can you turn it off now? Can you turn it on now?
Yeah.
I think it got irritated because it was just like,
Wow.
like it was like, screw this flashlight.
Wow.
Like, it was pretty awesome. Like,
Yeah.
the way it fell was not a way that it should have fallen. Like, it didn't just roll off, if that makes sense. As I said, that's the other tunnel. That used to be what we called Charlie's Corner, was that back little alcove piece there. But as I said, since Eric's passing, we really haven't had a Charlie.
Okay.
And most of the shadow movements and actual movements that I see always come from like my corner of my eye, but in that room.
Okay.
All right. I am going to show you something real quick. This basement is darker than dark when these lights are out, okay?
Oh,
This is what you're dealing with.
that's scary.
All right? I'm just giving you that heads up so that you're not tripping, falling, or smashing your head into random things.
Yeah.
All right? Just keep an eye out. All right, Yep.
I looked at it.
This room?
It's creepy.
Oh, and this thing right here's got a mummy in it.
Oh.
Just to give you a heads up, that coffin box, I think it's a stage prop, but there's a mummy in there, and it looks pretty fucking realistic, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least it's not propped up because, wandering around in the dark, that would have been scary.
Right. That's right. Flashlight on here. As I said, in here is where I feel, and I see most of my movement, shadow movement, so on and so forth. It's mostly like right in this area where you can see through the door.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But these stairs, they don't go nowhere.
Okay.
You can come in here, you can investigate in here all you want. Just don't, break nothing, that's all.
Yeah.
Not that you would, but. The only other thing we ask is that you be respectful and that you don't try to,
Provoke?
yeah.
Instigate.
But yeah, we just have you're respectful of the ghosts. You don't try to provoke them, as there's nothing here that you need to be defensive against.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
But the girls like anything that lights up. They're really great with flashlights. If you have multiples of these,
Yes.
set them around the basement on those ledges where the support pillars are.
Okay.
Around, and they'll play tag with you.
Oh, that's cool.
Can
Do
you
they do
turn
very
on
well
this
with
flashlight? Can you
REM
turn on that
pods?
one? What are they?
Do they do very well with REM pods?
Sometimes they're okay with them. That's more of a stage, like the upper stage
Okay.
type thing. REM pod works up there pretty well.
Okay. We also have a Boo Buddy, so we're hoping maybe a stuffed bear they might like.
My sister has like a motion sensor dog
Yeah.
animal thing that she brings, and they like to play with
Okay,
that quite
cool.
often. Any of like the cat balls, anything that lights up when you move, or if you have one of those music boxes, they like to play with those.
Okay.
And yeah, anything like that. But they are very, very well for the flashlights.
Okay, cool. Where's the best place to do like Estes sessions and spirit box sessions? Okay.
Down here is going to be your best bet.
Okay, cool. So we have a portal, and we have we'd also do like Estes sessions. So
Here and then the catwalk is also. If you don't get a lot here, it's because everybody's in the catwalk.
okay.
Okay, because these are like the two main places that the girls like to be, is the basement and the catwalk.
Okay.
So if it deadline's down here, know they're up there.
Gotcha.
That's all I can tell you. Know they're up there. All right. I am going to take you to one other spot, which is up in the balcony area. Missy, we're going to head up to the balcony because I want to take them to where, like, you know, that little office area is. But I got to make sure that that door isn't going to lock behind us either.
Thank you. Those are heavy, so if they open on their own, I'm running.
That'd be something Dave would do.
Yeah.
I was looking at it.
I was already thinking that.
Why can't I get the door open? He's in there holding the weight, laughing his ass off at me. The pit. Oh, that's where like the orchestra and stuff play. There's only one place in this whole entire building that I personally don't feel comfortable with, and it's not like a negative sensation, but it's like I shouldn't be in this area.
Okay.
If that makes sense. And that is what I'm about to take you now. It's the last place I always do because I don't like going there. I don't know. I feel like every time I get to the stairwell, I feel like a little kid that's old.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Kind of like you're invading on their space up there.
Very much so. That feeling of, I'm going to get in trouble. So we're going to come up here. And I have to make sure that this door stays unlocked first before I let y'all come through, because if not, you have to go back outside and then back through the front.
Oh.
If you get stuck or lost. All right, so up here, right over this way, where the black portion of my flashlight is,
Yeah.
is where we find Everett.
Okay.
In picture form, mostly. He shows up as like a white mist.
Okay.
This right here leads up to the projection,
Okay.
and we do get stuff in the hallway area there.
Oh.
That's why I was like, looks like the door is unlocked, which is awesome. Now, this restroom right here does work too, in case you're on this side.
Okay. Oh, did we lose Missy?
She did not follow me.
Okay. She was like, alright, I'm gonna put my shoe here just in case. I mean, I can get back to the other door. I have to lock the gate, so it's not a problem. If you, for some reason, get locked in here, this stair right here leads right to the left of the Opera House opening doors.
Okay.
You like literally walk out that door, make a right, and there's the Opera House.
Okay. We'll just knock and you'll.
Yeah. That's the reason why I've got one. These are offices. We have to go, kind of stay out of those.
Okay.
But this main area, we can get quite a little bit of like EMF and EVP work. This is the hallway I always feel like I'm gonna get in trouble coming up here. I don't know why, but it's always when I get to this main landing. That is the ballroom. As you can see, it's catwalk. That's why I can't get in there.
Okay.
But if you guys do have like a recorder with a microphone,
Okay.
you can slide that microphone underneath that door and see if you can get everything. We've
Oh.
done things that way before. We have one that's just, it's a girl that says, he's so handsome. But there is a spirit supposedly in there. He got stabbed to death over the girl.
Oh.
An
Okay.
altercation with another guy in the ballroom, and yeah, he died.
Okay.
But up here, this sound booth, all of that. You can look out on the stage this way as well if you want to like get a sneak peek without them trying to see you. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes the sneaky way is the best way. But we do get quite a bit of movement and EMF and EVP in these areas as well. And sometimes it's a little hard to hear when it's playing back because of the fan noises.
Okay. Gotcha.
That's why we just don't, I mean, we get things up here, but not as often because all of the background noise
Right.
kicks in. They said that was way to the bell tower and the ballroom there. The bell tower we can't get up into anymore anyway because the stairs are not safe any longer.
Okay.
But anything on this side goes to the police officers. So I'll probably just stay away from that.
Yeah.
But other than that, this little opera house, you guys have free reign. I'm probably going to give you a walkie, and I'm going to have one as well, just in case you need me for anything. You can just get me from wherever you are in the opera house.
Okay.
And I'll come running.
Are we able to turn it off so it doesn't interfere with our equipment, and then just turn it on if we need you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Just want to make sure.
Or what it's for.
Cool. Because I know sometimes those can cause like REM pods and EMF meters to spike, so.
Just in case something happens and you need like, hey, I need you to come to the basement.
Yeah. Hey, this mummy just sat straight up. Can you come down to the basement?
I'm trying to be real calm about it.
You're like, no, I'm actually leaving.
You guys have fun. Look up. Keys on the register. Alright, so as you say, you saw everything. I gave you guys remember where light switches are?
Yep.
For the most part?
Yep.
Okay. You're looking at like, no. If you guys want to go ahead and set up equipment, do whatever you need to do, let me know and I'll make sure all the lights are completely out for you.
Okay. Yep. Sounds good.
Alright.
Do we get everything out of the car, or do we need to?
Nope, we're good.
Right.
Oh, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna go ahead and get set up.
So,